I didn't hate this shoe, but
it seemed like you did.
no. Here's let me tell you why. Let me tell you once again, context.
It did seem like you
No,
did.
this is what I'm.
Hey.
In the context of a collaboration, yes, and it was more so the conversations around it. What's interesting is I don't know if y'all know who Kelsey Amy is.
My mind is going.
She used to. Well, she did all like the top PEs and stuff for Jordan Brand. She's no longer with the company, but anyway.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Yet to have a conversation with her about why.
You started sounding like my man off the life. The eyes that baby.
I don't know why. I wasn't there. Like I had no word.
Would it be in Nike? Who knows what they might say to her?
I was gonna say though, like listen, they cut like a whole bunch of people, and it just a lot of it made zero sense.
To cut people and bring other people in, I don't understand that.
Yeah, none of it made sense, and to cut her, I don't know why. Like, I would like an answer to that question, but in the context of collaborations, and I've always harped on this, like I hold collaborations to a higher standard when it comes to like creativity. And like I was having a conversation with, I think it was Mayor. And, I told him, I'm like, look, if I come in, like, you don't tell me this is a collaboration, you don't give me a name attached to it, and you have all this month's releases on the table, right? To me, the collaboration should stand out. It should be unique enough to where it doesn't look like every other release on that table. And I feel like this shoe will look like every release on that table. And I also acknowledge that, like, maybe if we didn't have such a run of what I consider to be some of the more basic collabs, that this just wouldn't feel like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Message.
Because it's like, okay, like how many basic ass solid color collaborations we gonna get, and then let the story like carry the weight of it. Like to me, storytelling is like, to me, the shoe itself, the product of a collaboration, right? Mm-hmm. That's the steak.
Did you say steak?
No, mistake.
Oh, see, now you got me all excited.
Mm-hmm. The storytelling is the potatoes that go with the steak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody shows up for just the potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I like potatoes.
I like turtles.
The storytelling was great. The marketing was great. So if you want to say this is the storytelling of the year or marketing of the year, fine. But I see motherfuckers saying this is sneaker of the year, and I'm like, okay. It's basically a solid, sandpaper red color shoe. Okay.
Well, for one, it's kind of too early to say sneaker.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen a lot of people.
That's like saying, the NBA season starting October, November? He's MVP. Like,
once again, full disclosure, some of the people that was saying this shit, maybe I shouldn't give it any stock. But still, it's
I look at sometimes that's overreaction with people. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I don't put too much man in it. I don't put too much man in it.
Maybe.
But I mean, it's nothing you can say, hey, at this present time, this shoe has number one. So now from April to December, we got to see who can knock this shoe off. I have no problem with that. But just to say it's a clear-cut winner, this is a clear-cut winner, I don't agree with that. But also, too, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The Trophy Room 17 had the same thing. It was basically two colors, right? It was all gray suede and had black and gold accents.
Mm-hmm.
That story didn't have much. Looking at that shoe, it didn't have much storytelling aesthetic to that as well. So why?
No, but aesthetically, it was a better looking shoe. Now, it wasn't just a solid gray shoe. Like you said,
the storytelling though. That's what I'm saying. The storytelling in the shoe. You saying that the collaboration?
I'm not complaining about the storytelling. I'm complaining about the shoe.
I'm talking the storytelling in the shoe though.
Yeah, but that shoe was enough. The product was good. I'm complaining about the product. I'm not complaining about the story.
The Trophy Room 17 followed a darn near a similar template to his Brick 4s. It's a predominantly one color, and
it's not predominantly one color. It has a lot of black and gold in it. There is different colors in that shoe. It's not just a gray shoe. It's not like a cool gray 9 or a cool gray 11. It has a lot of black and gold.
Outside the midsole.
That's just being disingenuous.
No, because the back heel, the tongue, that was gray. The only thing that was not gray was the midsole and the back strap up the top. So that's why
it was black and gold all throughout that shoe. Like, yeah, the base color was gray, but it was hits.
What story did the Trophy Room 17 tell?
That's not the argument. That's not the argument I'm making. I could give a fuck about the storytelling.
But you saying your placement with these last run of collaborations where we're looking at that shoe when you walk in, you should tell that it's a collab or not. You only can do that
it should stand out creatively, like visually. It should stand out. The story should not be like I said. If I don't show up to a restaurant, a 5-star restaurant for the potatoes, I show up for the steak. The potatoes are in addition to.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yes, sir, brother.
I don't have a problem with the story for the Brick Forest. That's not my complaint. Like some things are just dope. Like the shoe is not every shoe needs a story, right? So if the product is dope enough, that's fine. Now, if you give me a story on top of that, that takes it to a whole nother level, right? Once again, I get the story behind it, but it's just a solid red shoe. And to sit there and act like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna paint one shoe. My daughter could have did that shit. I've seen better creativity in Nike IDs.
Whoa, you're angry.
Once again, like we got a solid green 3. Best part about that shoe, heel tab. We got a solid cream 3. Best part about that shoe, the heel tab. We got a solid black 3. Best part about that shoe, the heel tab. We got a solid red shoe. Best part about that shoe, the heel tab. So like we getting a string of basic ass solid color shoes, and I'm supposed to applaud this shit as like the peak of creativity. So yes, it was a creative story, it was a creative premise, but as far as the shoe itself,
well, at what point
I've seen a red 4. Like, why am I getting excited about this?
Well, what point do you start to, if you notice the same pattern with different collaborators, at what point do you start holding the brand more accountable than the collaborator? J Balvin 3 was predominantly one base with accents on the heel and the back tail.
Right.
The Nina Chanel 3 was a similar palette. So we seeing the same thing. I can't, when we come to Nigel, I can't give him all the flack for that shoe.
I'm not giving him all the flack. When did I say Nigel?
You said you're getting both.
I said the 4. Right, both. All in both is 2 different things. 50% and 100% is 2 different numbers.
You give them both 50% for that shoe not being what you like it?
Yes.
No, I can't do that.
I'm doing 50%. What's his name on that shoe?
What I think you more upset about, honestly, is people saying that it's sneaker of the year. How quickly it sold out and the hype that was attributed to it. I felt like lends a lot more credence to I guess the hype around the shoe now and why so many people are focused in on the story. Because remember, what was it, like 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah, it was the one news story where people had robbed the train and had stole the shoes off the train.
That made
That's
it more
what I'm
limited.
saying. So I feel like that in itself has now helped to tell a different story for the shoe and give the shoe a little bit more hype than what it already had.
I think that added to the hype for sure, because it's like when you hear that, it's like, okay, well, it's going to be less pairs available, so now it's more limited.
Right.
And I mean, that always helps, right? Like the more limited the shoe is, it helps. I'm not saying it's not a guarantee, but it definitely fucking helps.
Now my thing is, I'm not a fan of the shoe.
Right.
I didn't like the shoe. And just because Nigel's name is attached to the shoe doesn't make me dislike it or sway me to like the shoe anymore. If Nigel didn't have his name on that shoe and that shoe just came out by itself, I would still feel the same way I feel, where I've been like, that's not something that I'm into.
Yeah, that's the same way I felt. It was like a level. I think if it was a regular general release, it would just be like indifference. Like, okay, this is another bland ass general release.
So
fine.
I think, to your point, I get what you're saying to you hold the collaborator to a higher standard. Because I remember before when we would always bring up talking about the rope that the designers have to be able to do what it is that they want to do in terms of the creative process.
Yes.
If there isn't...
Nigel Sylvester just came and knocked over a camera.
Because I'd find you.
If it's Nike basically saying, here's what you can do.
If I knew that for a fact, now, to your point, right, let's break this down. We've been there. We've had conversations, right? All of us have actually. We've been there, had conversations with the designers. And so we know that a lot of the designs that could come out do get stymied. I'm acknowledging that. But that's just a regular designer, right? Like when you got a Nigel Sylvester or these big name collaborators, right? Now, typically, they tend to give them more freedom than your average designer, because your average designer is... nobody knows who that is, right? And they purposely do that shit, right? Because the last thing they want is another Tinker Hatfield that they got to acquiesce to. For all I know, this could have been his full idea brought to fruition, and it just played into whatever they wanted to do anyway. I don't know. We could point that out, but then, like I said, I could point out like a Nina Chanel, right? Which you could tell they let her like do her thing on that. And whether you liked it or not, that was definitely her spin. That was definitely her putting her thumbprint on that shoe. Whether you like it or not, that's subjective. That definitely stands out from any other 2 release that would have come out. So that's my point about a collaboration. Whether I like it or not is a different.
I got those shoes, and I don't think that they were just, to me, I got them because they were like a low-key, soft, low-key shoe. That, to me, if I walked in the room, that didn't stand out as a collaboration to me.
That would have definitely stood out to me. Because it's different than any other.
Yeah, I was going to say I would have. It would, yeah. I agree with you. It stands out.
It definitely stands out. And then
I guess it's just like this 4 stands out in its own way.
The color?
That's
what I'm saying. Like nothing else, but I've seen an all red 4.
Yeah, but you haven't seen a clay colored 4. Here's the other part about it. I always think back to is exactly what you said. We're not in those rooms. We're not in that room where, hey, here's what you're able to do. Here's what you get to choose from. Here's the samples that we brought to you. You know, thumbs up, thumbs down. We're not there. So who knows? Who knows what got the thumbs down?
They give Dornbecker more freedom than they give the regular collaborators.
I don't know. I can't say that for sure. Like without having.
Don't they let the kids just color on the picture?
Yeah, they basically just.
Okay,
and then
so why don't they? I feel like they should do that for Travis Scott.
They should get Nigel a Jordan 4 picture.
I mean, I feel like get after Travis Scott. He probably some of his stuff might look a little bit better.
To his point though, Dornbecker, like to me, that is the epitome of what I think a collaboration should be and is. It is taking this model and making it yours, and not just. Like anybody can make an all black shoe, anybody can make an all red shoe, anybody can make an all blue shoe. There's no creativity in that shit, right? The creativity at that point is in the storytelling. And once again, this is why I say if you want to say it's storytelling of the year, fine, I ain't gonna argue that. You want to say it's marketing of the year?
I'll agree too. That they with them 4s had one solid color, that cream color, and that little off-page purple. Like
excited about those either.
I mean, but that goes back to numerous creators having a similar palette,
and maybe that's true. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is because I don't know for sure. I'm just like, to me, that's me being fair. Whether Jordan Brand held back or not, at the end of the day, all I got to go off is the product and the finished product. And to me, the finished product was,
But you like the social status pennies, didn't you?
The who's?
Social status penny 2s.
I'm drawing a blank on those.
The black with the baby blue, they basically the Orlando's, but with baby blue.
The penny 2s. Oh, yeah. There wasn't just one solid color.
Damn, it was the
Just because it has a base color and a solid color.
The same penny, but with baby blue instead of royal blue.
Dog, it had hits of gray, hits of baby blue, hits of cream. Like, it ain't just one solid color. That's been my whole argument. One solid color, not a base color with other colors added to it.
So you don't like all white Air Force Ones?
I'm going to drop one. I'm going to drop an all white Air Force One and say I like marshmallows or some shit. I don't know.
Rockefeller did it.
Right, and we had this whole conversation. I'm like, and what did I say? Basic. Just throwing a logo on a white Air Force One don't get me excited.
That leather was not of what the regular Air Force Ones was.
Look,
which is the biggest complaint of people who wear Air Force Ones is leather quality. So
if I'm paying $200 for a shoe, leather quality should be the least of my concerns.
Then why people feel like they feel about Jordan Brand?
As they should. Like, I've never argued that. They should. Like, I am advocating for it. Look, if you don't feel like the quality is worth your $200 that you worked hard for, why give it to them?
Would you tell quality is like an ugly chick with a personality?
Yeah, the ugly shoe with good quality ain't moving me, just like an ugly chick with a good personality ain't moving me. You got to look good.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly.
You can have all the nice suede you want to. If it's a doo-doo brown shoe with nice suede, I'm not buying that shit.
Why are you so superficial?
I want both. I want good quality and good colors and a good design. I want both. It's called balance. That's the whole emphasis of the show. Balance.
So when the brick for it, doesn't that, from what you've seen, would you say that shoe has good quality?
But it has a good quality. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Okay. What about, you like the silhouette, of course, right?
I like the silhouette. I just don't like the.
I don't like the color.
I don't like the all red and like that doesn't.
So you don't like black cats? You didn't like the black cats?
That's why I don't have any.
What about you? Got Ferrari 14s?
That's not a collab though. That's a general release. Once again, I hold collaborations to a higher standard.